Hello, everybody. So I was sitting here and actually this morning just kind of had some interesting thoughts, and I was like, wait a minute, why do I not share these thoughts with all of you? Because anybody like takes showers and like your mind is just like percolating. It's like information, information. So that's kind of what happens when I get in water. Water is one of my conduits of like information to come in. And I was sitting with, as I was getting like my hair washed and getting drained on and everything like that, of the training that I was on over this weekend, and a statement that was made by somebody else about imposter syndrome. And I was just kind of sitting with like, well, what is it? How does it feel? Blah, 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 blah. So today, I wanted just to spend a few minutes with you and talk a little bit about imposter syndrome, what it is, what it's not, and also like, is this me? Am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And what can be done about it? And also have a little bit of fun with you. And of course, as soon as I like start writing the word imposter syndrome, and I'm like, well, yeah, awesomeness. I don't know about any of you, but I'm a Lego fan, and like, you know, I have like the Lego theme song, like, you know, everybody's awesome, you know, so that's like right into my head right now. So we're going to embrace everybody is awesome, and we're going to embrace the like all the things about Lego-ness right now. But we're going to go a little bit about like, what is imposter syndrome? Okay, so let's think a little bit about this. What comes to your mind when you think of imposter syndrome? You know, these are normally like, you're going to hear the words like fake it till you make it. You're going to hear words like just keep doing it until, you know, but it's well, what is it? Well, let's talk about what it's not and what it is, and let's see kind of where you are in the like spectrum of imposter syndrome versus awesomeness. So, well, what is imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome is it's a way of showing up or moving in the world, but some of you guys like that word. It's a way of being where you are not authentically doing or being yourself, but you're doing it in a way where you are trying to be seen and validated by others. And a lot of times it will be tied to like a feeling of insecurity or inauthenticity, but you're doing it in a way because you're doing it because you are like trying to be seen as this like great, amazing person. So let me give you a couple examples. So you may be sitting here and you were like, well, is this me or not me? So kind of try these on, almost like you're trying on an outfit. How does this outfit fit? How does it look on me? So you're looking at somebody who may be famous, and it's somebody, let's say, who is on stage a lot. So I'm just going to pick Tony Robbins because a lot of people know who he is. And he has a way of like being on stage. He has a way he moves. He has a way he talks. He has a way that like he makes his offer. You know, offer as in like at the end of or like 2/3 of the way through said training program, here, this is how you can work with me and we can go to the next level. Okay. But there's a way of like how somebody does this, and when someone is kind of in this state of an imposter syndrome, they're really in this like fake it till you make it. So they may see someone who's here, and they may see themselves as here, or they may actually like, if you think of kind of, instead of being like below, think of it kind of like on a journey. That person is here with their business, and you're only here on your journey of your business, which is okay. But you want to be seen as here, so you're going to act like and do things so that you can resemble the person here. So it makes you look more professional. It makes you look more put together. It makes you look like you're worth a higher value on what you want to sell in. So here's where the fake it till you make it and then being inauthentic is, you know, the imposter syndrome or not. So are you, and I guess the question is, are you consciously modeling what someone else is doing because you see a way that they're showing up and being that could benefit you moving forward. Okay, there's nothing wrong with like somebody who's ahead of you who has certain skill sets or traits that you're mirroring, that you're modeling, that you are applying, but you're doing it in a way that's like, here's their structure, but I'm doing it like with my little flavor. I may be following it to a T because their structure model works, but I'm still showing up. My personality, my way of being, my little quirkiness, my little uniqueness, or, and it can be an and, because you can be a little bit kind of where are you on this like spectrum kind of a thing. You're showing up and you're trying to be just like. So that's the word I want you to sit with, just like. That person who, is there a sense of faking it? Is there a sense of not a realness about it? And there's some inauthenticity with it. That is imposter syndrome. That is completely different than you learning and growing of what someone has some skill sets in, and you are developing those. So let's kind of take that. We're going to kind of shake it off. Shake, 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 shake. Okay, I'm not supposed to be shaking. Again, I just had spine surgery. But we're going to kind of shake off like, okay, this imposter syndrome because, well, I don't want to be unauthentic. I want to be me, but I want to be just like, I want to be just like such and such. I want to have the success that's such and such. I want to have the ability of such and such. Hold on to that ability. Because you're developing the skill set. You're developing the behaviors. You're not trying to be said person. I don't want you to be said person. I want you to be you. I want you to be what makes you different. Again, celebrate the quirkiness. Celebrate the uniqueness. Celebrate what makes you a little bit different, a little bit you, or a lot of you. I want the all of you. Okay. So how and why? How and why do we get in this state of imposter syndrome? Well, a couple things could be happening. One of them is we've been taught at a young age, you model from other people. As a little child, that was a skill that you were learning. Someone would do this. Okay, I'm going to tie my shoe. Mom or dad or grandma or grandpa or whoever it may be would like tie their shoe and they do it with you and you would like follow what they did and you mirrored them and you copied what they did. Okay, there's something about a rabbit, like you take a little loop and you make something, rabbit in the hole. I don't know. It's one of those things now where I tie my shoes and I don't think about it. Okay, confession time. Again, I say like your uniqueness and the you part. My favorite pair of shoes don't even have shoelaces. It's because I have kid-sized feet. And they got Velcro on them and they're like, I tap my toes, the little again, kid shoes. Lights go crazy and whatnot. So, by the way, bad shoes to play hide and seek in the dark with because as I was like trying to move away, all you see is like flashy light, flashy light, flashy light, flashy light. Anyway, so going back to how and why. So there's a part of us that likes to grow and learn and to be better at something. We're developing skill sets. We're developing the presence to stand with authority and confidence. We are developing the ability to communicate effectively our heart's desire, but in a way that other people want to purchase. We may be developing a comfortableness, because sometimes this is what comes up, of being able to ask to get paid for what we do. So there's a lot of things that can happen. You're trying to develop certain ways of being. Again, it could also be you want to be just like this person. And again, if that fake it till you make it part, and people will say all the time, just fake it till you make it. Every time someone says that, my heart just cringes because it's not a matter of faking till you make it. It's about developing the skill sets to help you get there. Okay, so how and why? So going back to that, there's a part of us that when we don't know how to do something, we get uncomfortable. It's challenging, we're hesitant, we don't like to show it to other people until we feel more comfortable with it. It may be we're embarrassed, or it's not, we don't feel safe quite doing it, and maybe you just don't even know how to do it. So it could be all kinds of different things. So the other thing that may also be coming up is there's a fear side, of what if someone judges me a certain way? It may be this isn't good enough, or it's not ready because it's not perfect enough. It could be all the what ifs that our mind is going to be going through, or could be going through. It could be we're still looking for more information. So there's a lot of things that can come into play that may show up and may want us or lead us into the behavior of imposter syndrome. Because, well, again, fake it till you make it, or you're just doing it, but you're not, you're trying to do it to get validation, or you're doing it in a way where you're not being congruent and authentic with yourself. And then there's you're just trying to learn these skill sets. So I'm going back to like the shoelace thing. So we'll talk about the how and the why. So we learn in certain ways. So big picture overview. We learn by our environment. We learn by culture. We learn by all kinds of different things. We take in information different ways. But there's also like a hierarchy. Actually, more of it's a hierarchy going up this way, because you kind of got a foundation and it builds up of how you learn. This is one of the best things I got out of my master's program. So just bear with me for just a couple seconds as we talk about this, because I literally use this time and time again without always telling people. And this is also one of those things that come up. So if you're working with somebody and you give them this to do, and they may not be ready for this, but they're ready for this, it's like going to the gym and you just started and then give you a 35-pound weight. I don't know if actually I'm a 25-pound weight to do something, and you're kind of at like me right now. I just had spine surgery. I can't lift more than 2 pounds. You're down here, and that's okay. But if you give something more of where they are, you're actually going to do more disservice for them. So it's kind of along those lines. So there's a hierarchy called Bloom's taxonomy. So it's kind of stacking, but actually I think it does it the other way when you actually look at the chart. Anyway, the idea is we learn, and as we get more comfortable or masterful in one area, we're going to go to the next level, the next level, the next level, the next level. And it's kind of also interesting how we learn, because as we're taking in information, if we don't like it or we're not getting it, we all have different responses to it. That's a whole other exercise. Okay, so imposter syndrome, and how that ties in with Bloom's taxonomy. So I'm going to quickly go into this, but actually I'm going to go into more detail about this tomorrow. So there's different layers, and in these different layers, there is the very base layer, which is called knowledge, and the very, very top layer, which is called evaluation. And as you're learning to do something, you're at the very base level. You're just starting to do it, kind of like baby steps, to become the top layer where you're really masterful and you can create it in your own way. So stay tuned. Come back tomorrow, because you know what? I have something really exciting. And as I'm talking to you, I am in the same practice of learning to do things, how to improve. And actually, I'm going to move this little thing down because it's cutting off my chin. And why is this kind of important? Well, because like all of you, I don't want to be an imposter syndrome. I want to show up authentically and powerfully. And I'm practicing. I'm using a new piece of software. I am playing around, hence I got the little graphics. I can move things around. And the more you do something, the more comfortable you are, the safer and the less your anxiety will come up, the less your ego's or inner critic's going to be making a big deal about something. And you can do it in an authentic way, but you can also do it in a very safe way. So I'm currently being very safe. I'm talking to all of you who I completely love and adore, and I get to share with you. So I want to end with something, because as we're talking about being ourselves and being awesome, but do it in a way that's authentic, but more importantly, not getting stuck in imposter syndrome. So I wanted to support your awesomeness. So anyone can be cool, but awesome takes practice. As I'm learning, my camera is actually opposite from where I am. So when I thought I was actually moving away from the picture, I was going the opposite. So again, takes practice. So I want to invite you to practice the skill sets. Do it in a way that's true and authentic for yourself, but practice them. But don't be in a fake it till you make it. I don't want you to fake it. I want you to learn. I want you to develop it. But I don't want you to be faking. Faking, no faking here. This is a no faking community. This is a no faking space. This is the show up as you are space. As a motorcycle is driving by. So, I'm recording this on my patio. So I will see you tomorrow. I know this is a little bit longer of a tip today, but I wanted to kind of get this out. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I would love, chime in below, what was your takeaway from today? I would love to hear just one little thing. And I also want to know, so it's kind of a two things. One, your takeaway. Two, when have you felt imposter syndrome? And I will share, I felt imposter syndrome when I was trying to make my very first offer. Because I didn't know how to do it, and I was told, do it like this person, so I literally tried to do it like that person. So, guilty, and I'm going for awesomeness. All right, talk to you all tomorrow. Bye.